One of the cosmetics that I most enjoy testing are everyday, very natural looking skin tints. I have reviewed well over 100 these past several years. So rather than a best of the skin tints I tested in 2025, I thought it would be even more helpful to share my all-time top 10 favorite skin tints for my 66-year-old very dry skin. If this sounds fun to you, show this video a thumbs up and let's get into it. The first 8 tints that I'm sharing today are cruelty-free, fragrance-free, contain no drying denatured alcohol, and most are vegan. The last 2 tints are also excellent, but they are not cruelty-free and they contain either fragrance or denatured alcohol that I'm willing to overlook because they are really, really beautiful. And in an effort not to keep repeating myself, I do want to note these are all very natural looking, not makeup-y at all. None of these cling to dry patches or accentuate texture. And these all last at least the usual 6 hours that I expect from an everyday skin tint. Now I do show application without any primer or powder, which is how I usually wear them. Now I am not ranking these, but at the end of the video I will share my top 3 favorites. Since we are well into winter, I will start with the 4 that work really well on my extra dry winter skin. One of the most affordable is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Serum Skin Tint. This is well under $10. Now it can be a little bit difficult to find in store, and when you do, the shades are a little limited. But the Wet n Wild website has a whopping 27 shades. So I will link the Wet n Wild website in the description box below. Actually, all the products I'm talking about today, all the makeup I have on my face, and my earrings, and my sweater will be listed and linked in the description box below, and in the top pinned comment, and in YouTube shopping as usual. Anyway, this does come in a glass bottle with a dropper, and it's not quite as messy as some others are. Now I do have this in 2 shades, and I will show you both shades. Usually I just mix the 2 together at different ratios depending on the time of year. So this shade is shade Fair Light, and this shade is shade Light Warm. You can see the nice thin serum-y consistency. Like I said, I usually just blend them together, and this is the foundation, or the skin tint I should say, that I'm wearing today. Ingredients include skin-loving glycerin, squalane, niacinamide, and vitamin E. This blends effortlessly with fingers, brush, or a sponge. It feels luxuriously cushiony going on. It offers nice light coverage right off the bat, but it can be built up to light medium. It feels beautifully hydrating, yet it dries down without tackiness to a really pretty glowy but not greasy finish. This perfects the skin in the most natural way. Next up is Typology. Typology is actually a natural luxury skincare line made in France, and they make the most elegant tinted serum. Again, glass bottle with a dropper. Now this is definitely on the pricier side at $47, and it only comes in 6 shades. Typology did send me their lightest 2 shades in PR, and I will very quickly swatch these for you and show you the consistency. So here is shade Light, which is second to the lightest, and here is shade Fair. I hope you can see the beautiful serum-y consistency. Shade Light works really well for me in the summertime, and in the wintertime I just add a drop or 2 of Fair to get the perfect shade match. Typology's ingredients are 99% natural and include skin-loving glycerin, cocoa caprolate, squalane, vitamin C, and aloe. This blends effortlessly into the skin. It literally feels like luxury skincare, yet it provides sheer to light coverage, just enough to tone down the redness and even the skin tone. It dries very quickly without any tackiness, and it has a beautiful soft luminosity. It sort of reminds me of a cross between Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin and Hourglass Veil. This literally looks and feels like beautifully hydrated, radiant skin. Perfect for no makeup days. One of my longtime loves that I've been raving about for years is the Hourglass Veil Hydrating Tint. This is $44, but you do get 35 mLs, and I just ordered my third one at 20% off during the Sephora sale, which I do believe ends today. Anyway, it does come in 18 shades, and I am in the shade 5 Light, and there is the consistency. Oh my gosh, this is so luxurious and emollient and moisturizing. Absolutely gorgeous ingredients such as glycerin, squalane, and meadow foam seed oil. This literally melts into my skin. It feels more like a rich moisturizer than makeup. This is probably the most moisturizing and the glowiest of all the tints I'm sharing today, which makes it perfect for my extra dry winter skin. It offers light to very light medium coverage with the prettiest glow. It does take a few minutes to dry down, and this is one of the only tints that I do sometimes powder with my Hourglass Veil to take the shine down just a tad. I always get compliments when I'm wearing this tint. This has been a favorite for years. Next we have Danessa Myricks Yummy Serum Skin Tint. Who doesn't want yummy skin? Anyway, this is $39, but you do get quite a bit of product, 45 mLs. It comes in 20 shades, and I have shade 4 Light Neutral, and there is the consistency. Again, all of these serum tints just feel so incredibly lovely on the skin. Here are the claims. This is a skin-loving tint packed with peptides and ceramides for a boost of hydration with flexible, seamless coverage with a fresh, radiant glow. And I completely agree with those claims. It blends easily with fingers. It can be applied lightly for sheer coverage, or it can be built up to a pretty solid but very natural looking medium coverage. This dries down quickly to a really pretty, radiant, but not overly glowy finish. It is very long lasting, so this works well both in the summer and in the winter. But with all the hydration, I tend to reach for it more in the winter. Moving on to the skin tints that I tend to reach for a little bit more in the summer when my skin isn't quite as dry. These are a little less hydrating and less glowy, yet these are super long lasting, even in the heat and humidity of the summer months. Now, while the first 4 will probably work best for dry to normal skin, I do believe these next 4 will work well for all skin types. First up is an iconic classic, and it is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. I love the travel-friendly squeezy tube. Now, this is the one I've been using the longest, well over 5 years. Again, another one under $10. Now this one only comes in 6 or 8 shades. I can't remember. I will put it on the screen. I think 8, which is really strange since their newer tinted serum comes in 27 shades. So if you're trying to decide between the two, the tinted hydrator is a little bit less hydrating, but not drying. It is definitely more pigmented, and it is definitely longer lasting in the heat and humidity of the summer months. Luckily, Shade Light works really well for me, and I am going to show you the consistency and the consistency difference between these two products. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see the swatches as I show them to you. This is the Creamier Hydrator in the shade Light, and this is the Serum in the shade Fair Light. You can see this is creamier, a little bit thicker, but still very, very lightweight. And like I said earlier, I often have to mix the serum 2 shades together to get a good shade. Although someday I am going to go online, and out of the 27 shades, I'm sure I can find a perfect one. Wet n Wild claims this offers buildable, sheer to medium coverage with a semi-matte finish. The lightweight formula will deliver an instantly radiant, hydrated complexion. Now, I do find this to blend really easily with fingers, brush, or a sponge. While it's not exactly glowy, it does have a really pretty natural satin skin-like finish with just a touch of radiance. And it is super long-lasting. I do think this will work for all skin types, including oily. And I had to include Merit's brand new, the Uniform Tinted Mineral SPF 45, because it is such a unique product. Now, I originally reviewed this in an SPF roundup video. This is one of the few products that gives you the coverage of a tint with the protection of a sunscreen. Anyway, this is $38, but you do get 50 mLs, and I am in the shade 26, Fair, Light, Neutral, Cool. It is incredibly lightweight on the skin. In this footage, I'm actually applying the 5 pumps that are required to get the SPF of 45. Even with 5 pumps, it feels incredibly lightweight. It gives nice light coverage with a natural satin skin-like finish, and it looks very natural on the skin. Now, I don't find it super hydrating, but it does pair perfectly with Merit's Great Skin Serum to give a boost of moisture. I wanted to include this today because it is such a rare thing to have a skin tint that can actually be used as a standalone SPF. Next up is Lisa Eldridge's Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint. This is an absolutely gorgeous product. To me, this is worth every penny of the $49 for 30 mLs. This is completely empty. I used every last drop. As you can see, it's quite liquidy. It's probably the thinnest of all the tints I'm sharing today. It comes in 20 shades, and shade T6 is a perfect match for me. You know, I had planned to reorder this, but I held off because I had so many other tints to work through, and I actually missed it. So I will definitely be reordering this. This is beautifully formulated with prickly pear seed oil, sunflower seed oil, squalane, and cocoa caprolate. This blends effortlessly. It literally disappears into the skin for undetectable, sheer to very light medium coverage with a beautiful satin skin-like finish. As Lisa says, this is my skin, but on its very best day. And incredibly long-lasting, even in the heat and humidity of the summer. And now, watching this footage, I cannot wait to get my hands on it again. One of the reasons I didn't order the Lisa Eldridge right away is because I could not stop using Ciel's Tint and Protect SPF 50. Now, unlike the Merit, I really can't use enough of this to get the actual SPF of 50, but it does give me a nice boost of sun protection over my usual SPF. This is $44. You do get 38 mLs, nice glass bottle with a dropper. It comes in 13 shades, and I am in the shade 4 Light Medium, which is a perfect shade match for me. You can see the nice thin consistency. Again, very lightweight, and like I said, the shade is perfect for me. It almost has a little bit of an olive undertone. Skin-loving ingredients include allantoin and propanediol to moisturize, bisabolol to soothe and calm, niacinamide to boost the skin's barrier, and zinc oxide as the sun filter. This blends in effortlessly. It seems to just disappear into the skin. It offers very flexible, light to medium coverage. It dries down quickly without any tackiness to a beautiful natural finish with the prettiest touch of radiance. Now this does have a bit more coverage and radiance than Lisa Eldridge, but just as natural looking. I always get compliments when I'm wearing this. 2 of my friends actually purchased it after seeing it on my skin, and they love it too. And again, super long lasting, even in the heat and humidity of the summer. Unfortunately, I find it really difficult to find skin tints at the drugstore that are cruelty-free, fragrance-free, with no denatured alcohol. But I wanted to include these last 2 drugstore products anyway, even though they are not cruelty-free and one does contain fragrance and the other does contain denatured alcohol. They are both excellent products. NYX Buttermilk Glaze Soft Glow Skin Tint SPF 30 surprised me in the best way. I almost didn't try this because the marketing referenced glazed donut. Luckily, this does not make me look like a glazed donut, but it does have the prettiest soft glow. Although this is cruelty-free and does not contain any denatured alcohol, it does contain pretty noticeable fragrance. It's sort of a tropical fruity smell, although it does dissipate quickly. It comes in 10 shades, and I am in the shade 02 Vanilla Bean. Another lightweight serum, but really creamy and emollient on the skin. This is formulated with 93% skincare ingredients such as glycerin, shea butter, mango seed butter, and niacinamide. It feels really cushiony and emollient going on the skin. It offers sheer to light coverage, just enough to even the skin tone in the prettiest way. Now it does take a few minutes to dry down, but once it does, it has a beautifully juicy, hydrated glow that lasts all day. Probably a little too juicy for oily skin, but perfect for dry skin. Now I'm not saying it's a dupe, but it does remind me a little of Hourglass at a much better price point. And last but not least is the very popular, iconic, classic L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Acid Serum Tint. This is $19. It comes in 14 shades, and I am in the shade 2-3 Light, which is the 3rd from the lightest. Comes in a glass bottle with a pretty awful dropper that is incredibly messy and not super functional. Let's see if I can get enough out to show you the consistency. Yeah, see, it's really hard to even get any out. But it is a very lightweight consistency. And as you can see, shade 2-3 Light is a really good shade match for me. Now this is vegan and fragrance-free. However, it does contain denatured alcohol, 4th on the list. It also has glycerin and hyaluronic acid to hopefully counteract the potentially drying effect of the alcohol. Even so, for that reason, this is not a product that I would personally use on a daily basis on my dry skin. But it's so pretty and long-lasting, I had to include it in today's video. The super lightweight serumy consistency blends effortlessly for a very natural looking, light to medium coverage with a really pretty soft radiance. And now for the best of the best, my top 3-ish. Now keep in mind, I do use, enjoy, and recommend all 10 of these tints. But these are the ones that I use the most and that I either have or plan to repurchase. First up, of course, is Hourglass Veil Hydrating Tint. I feel like this will always be in my top 3. Like I said earlier, I just reordered my 3rd one. I have a lot of tints, so that's really saying something. And reminder, I do believe today is the last day of the Sephora holiday sale. 20% off regardless of your tier or status, and 30% off the entire Sephora collection. Next up is Typology. This is perfect for a no makeup makeup day. This feels like luxury skincare that beautifies the skin in the most natural way. This is what I reach for when I want to get out the door fast and I just need a little something something. For my 3rd pick, I'm having a really difficult time deciding between Lisa Eldridge and CL, especially since I don't have any Lisa Eldridge right now to do a side-by-side comparison. However, I do think CL might be knocking Lisa Eldridge out of the top 3, which is shocking because Lisa Eldridge has been a favorite since first application. Anyway, the CL offers just a little more coverage, it's a little more moisturizing, and has a tad more radiance. Having said that, these are both extremely natural looking, beautiful on the skin, and I do use and recommend both. Once I get the Lisa Eldridge in and I can do a side-by-side comparison, I will keep you posted. Now I'm just starting to select skin tints for my annual skin tint roundup that I do every spring. So if you have any favorites or any skin tints you would like to see me review, please share in the comment box. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful and enjoyable, and if you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up, maybe even a hype. That really helps support my channel, which I very, very much appreciate. And with that, have yourself a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in my next video.